Hi everybody and welcome back to the Stoic Investor channel. Today we will continue our journey into the investment banking industry as I will present, based on my experience, the salaries and bonuses of investment bankers. I will take London as a point of reference, that is where I've worked. Therefore I will express the compensation packages in pound. You have to consider that those might change depending on the firm and divisions, therefore I will present them in ranges and always refer to front office roles. Analysts mainly have to deal with Excel for analysis and PowerPoint presentation, together with some more boring administrative stuff, like for instance, tracking the list of buyers and sellers, updating the data room, dealing with internal documentation, and also addressing possible requests from clients. They usually join after university, so I would say 25, 26 years old is a reasonable starting point. In terms of total compensation, they have a base salary ranging between 60 and 80,000 pounds per year, plus a bonus that might range from 50 to 70% of the base salary. Investment banking associate already master all the skill set required to an analyst, plus they have much more experience. This is why usually analysts take care of the groundwork, with associate allocating the task and reviewing the analysis and the presentation once they have been finalized. They might also contribute and therefore have to dirty their hands on the most important deal. Associate might also participate in meetings and directly meet with clients, although they usually don't have speaking roles. They are appointed after having been analysts or might join from a different background, but I would say that a safety bet with respect to the age would be later 20s, early 30s. In terms of total compensation, they usually have a base salary ranging between 90 and 120,000 pounds, plus bonuses that might range from 50 to 80% of the base salary. Vice presidents in the investment banking industry start to have a leading role, and therefore they do not get into the weeds as much as associates and analysts they usually do. They have the task of interpreting the requests from directors and managing directors and cascading them down to the team, having to add the final touch and finalizing the review once the work has been completed. They also start to have interaction with clients, building relationship, pitching deals, as well as in some firm, they have to start winning clients. In terms of age, they usually had been associates before, so I would say around mid-30 would be a reasonable age at which you should expect someone to be a vice president. In terms of compensation, the base salary ranges between 120 and 160,000 pounds, plus bonuses that might range between 70 to 100% of the base salary. Moving on to the directors in the investment banking industry, they usually have a portfolio of activities that is considered a little bit a mix between the vice president and the managing directors. In fact, in some firms, they have to take care of establishing relationship, winning clients, and negotiating deals, whereas in other firms, they might have to take care of the execution, like vice president. But regardless of the portfolio of activities, they have to start winning clients if they want to move to the next step in the ladder. In terms of age, we are talking about a person that had been vice president before, and therefore they are in their late 30, early 40. In terms of total compensation, they usually start with a base salary spanning from 170 to 200,000 pounds, plus bonuses that range between 100 to 150% of the base salary. And finally, we have the managing directors that have only one task in the firm: to make it rain. This is why they are mainly focused on establishing relationships, winning new clients, talking with CEO, CFO, and they are traveling most of their time. They might also get involved in some deal negotiation, especially with the special relationship that they might have established. However, I would say that it's much more frequent that they are mainly focused in winning clients, leaving the deal negotiation to the directors. It is almost impossible to become managing director in the mid-30s, so I would say towards the end of the 30s till 50 years old would be a reasonable age to expect someone to become a managing director. It is also quite unusual having managing director working also after the retirement age. This is because it is particularly demanding and very stressful, and past a certain net worth is simply not worth it. In terms of total compensation, this is quite difficult to be said because we have a lot of heterogeneity depending on the firm. But I would say something around 280 to 320,000 pounds as a base salary, plus bonuses that might span between 20 to 30% of the revenues generation. Okay, but which are the key determinants when establishing a bonus? There are four main factors to consider: the individual performance, the group performance, the firm performance, and finally the firm type. As regarding the individual performance, investment bankers at the end of the year are allocated to three main buckets: top, mid, and bottom performer. Those in the top performer bucket will be awarded with the highest possible percentage of bonus, whereas those in the bottom bucket, well, you got it, right? They will not only receive the lowest percentage of bonus, but they will also be the first one that will have to leave the firm in case the bank decides for some cost cutting. In terms of group performance, usually investment bankers, depending on the role, they are divided into different industry and sector that they have to work on. This defines the coverage. Depending on how many deals have been closed into that specific sector of industry, then the pool of the bonus might vary quite substantially, and therefore this is also another ingredient to be considered when defining the final amount of the bonus. Investment banks at the end of the year usually allocate a given amount of money to the bonuses pool. Of course, the better the result of the investment bank in terms of revenues, the largest this pool is going to be. And finally, we have the type of investment bank we are looking at. In fact, not all investment banks are the same. We do have the bulge bracket type of banks, like for instance Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, that are the most important investment bank, the biggest one, those closing multi-billion-dollar deal, and are the first one to be called by the most important corporate. Then we have the so-called elite boutique like Evencourt, Lazard, that deal only with some particular type of activities in the investment banking industry, like for instance merger and acquisition. And finally, we have the so-called middle market investment bank, like for instance BNP Paribas or Deutsche Bank, that do not have any particular type of specialization. They usually cover all range of investment bank activities, although they might not be the first preferred choice of a large corporate. And with that, we reach the end also for today. I hope you like today's video, and please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and pin the notification bell. So cheers and see you next time.